What's going on, guys? It's Tyrell here, and today we're going to talk about what if Naruto was in Demon Slayer Part 4. I hope you guys enjoy the what if. Honestly, did I already say thank you for 200 subscribers? Because thank you. I think I said that last video, but I just wanted to just clarify how much that actually means to me, though. But anyway, let's get started with the what if. We open up with Naruto and the gang heading up to Mount Natagumu. Gumo. Shit, I cannot read. Natagumo. They stop when Zenitsu gets a little scared. He pretty much crawls into a crowball state, and he asks if they're actually gonna head up that scary mountain. Naruto would look at Zenitsu with more of a heartwarming eyes instead of the daggers that Tanjiro and Sasuke are practically giving him, as Naruto tells Zenitsu that he is strong enough to handle any demon. Zenitsu is shaking his head, pretty much telling Naruto he's a liar, as Naruto would then look at Zenitsu and ask if Zenitsu honestly thinks that he would lie to him. Naruto would tell Zenitsu that you've seen Zenitsu's skills, and even though you don't know it yet, you are extremely strong. As Zenitsu would say, you claim that I've beaten these demons, but I don't remember any of it. As Naruto would then tell Zenitsu the secret. Zenitsu, you sleepwalk. That's why you don't remember anything. You move when you sleep. That's how you've been beating the demons. As Zenitsu would be shocked at this revelation. How come no one's told me? As Zenitsu would look at Tanjiro, as he'd be kind of doing he would put his hand behind the back of his head, and do a whistling tone, trying to avoid the question. Naruto would then tell Zenitsu, look, you might not know it, but you are strong. Your body knows you're strong. You just need to know you're strong. As Zenitsu would get a confidence boost from this, and actually would take the charge in heading up the mountain. As he heard scary sounds, Naruto would just tell Zenitsu that all he has to do is think of a happy place, thing, or person, and he'll be calmed down automatically. Zenitsu would then calm down and think of a happy place, which would be at his Gramps dojo. This is where we get a flashback to when Zenitsu is training for his grandpa, but we don't really see a lot. We only saw the basic stuff like his grandpa making sure Zenitsu actually gets his training done and all that. When they head up the mountain, Naruto senses something weird. He turns on his blood demon art to enhance all of his senses just in case, as he doesn't want to use Eye of Storm yet. Naruto would then tell Tanjiro to look out as he'd push him out the way as a random demon slayer would cut off Naruto's arm. Naruto would go black, but it's taking too long, as the demon slayer would say he's sorry, but he literally has no choice. He can't help, he's moving on his own. Naruto, with his blood demon art turned on, can sense the webs, as he tells the entire gang that this guy is being controlled like a puppet right now. They should cut over him, not on him. As Naruto would take out the sword with one hand and cut up to him, the guy would fall down, and the guy would look at Naruto. Please kill me, he would ask. Naruto would ask what he means, as the guy states that all of his bones in his body are broken. He's killed all of his friends and family, and he can't live with it anymore. And all he wants to do right now is die. He would ask for Naruto's mercy and just kill him already. Naruto would set the guy into a kneel down position, the guy's head low. Naruto would ask if the guy has any backs out, because after this it's over. As the guy would begin to cry, I'll finally get to see my family, my friends again. If that's what it takes, then please perform seppuku on me. Naruto would have tears in his eyes. He's never taken out a human life, and even demons are hard for him. But right before that, the guy automatically jumped up and started swinging at Naruto, this time slashing at his gut. All of his intestines started to fly out, but they would slowly revert back into his body and start healing. The guy would then state, "It's happening again," as Tanjiro would then tell Naruto that they have company now, as a bunch of demon slayers would pop out. They're crying, just like the man, asking if they can kill them. Naruto would ask what's going on, as then one demon slayer that doesn't seem to be controlled is pretty much asking them what's going on. Naruto would then state that they were sent here to help. As Naruto would ask what this guy's name, he would say his name is Minato. When hearing this name, Naruto could only think of his father's name, Minato. Small world, I guess. As he would ask Minato what he's doing here, Minato states that his entire group, all of a sudden, when going on this mission, decided to move on their own and started killing each other. Even the dead bodies began to move. It's been freaking him out this entire trip. He couldn't get out the mountain even that day. As Naruto would ask how long Minato's been here, Minato would explain that he's been here for 2 days and is starting to feel completely dehydrated. And honestly, he would let himself die, but for some reason there's this voice in the back of his head telling him to keep fighting, that someone will help him. Naruto would shake his head as Tanjiro would basically compliment Minato on how much willpower he truly has. Zenitsu would get into his thunderclap and flash dance, and would ask Naruto if we should actually kill them or only strike above them. Naruto would think about it for a few seconds. If it's webs, then there's something on them, which means we'll be here forever. We have to locate the source. So Zenitsu, since you're the fastest out of all of us, and Inosuke, since you have dual blades, you two should cut off the webs from the people, as me and Tanjiro would think. Inosuke would then state, "Wait, how about Tanjiro how about Tanjiro and Zenitsu cut off the webs, and you and me can sense for them?" As Naruto would ask if Inosuke has some type of blood demon art. As Inosuke would then state, "No, just good old breathing." As Inosuke would then pretty much sorry. He would stab the ground and say, "Beast breathing." Sorry. Beast breathing spatial awareness. As Naruto would say, "Good thinking." Naruto would use Eye of Storm, which is enhanced because of his blood demon art. Inosuke would state that he senses a giant spider with a head and a giant man, pretty much built like an entire building. Naruto would then state that he senses a boy, but his neck is as thick as 10,000 trees combined, and he can sense a womanly figure controlling the webs. After Minato pretty much gets the hang of cutting above the heads, Minato volunteers he'll stay back and handle these guys, and that you guys should go after the 4 other demons on the mountain. Naruto states he's going to go after the little boy, as his neck is extremely thick, and he believes that his sword can actually deal with the cuts. Naruto then tells Tanjiro that he should probably go after the demon that's controlling all of the webs, as Tanjiro seems to be the swiftest and more accurate out of all of us. Tanjiro would shake his head and automatically run that direction, as Naruto would point around west. Inosuke states he's going to go east, as that's where the dad demon is, and since it's the biggest, it has to be the strongest. Naruto would go up to Zenitsu, as he would see Zenitsu slightly shake. As Naruto would put his hand on Zenitsu's shoulder, he would tell Zenitsu that he can definitely do this, and that if he comes back alive, he'll cook him up something his mom used to make. Zenitsu would smile, thinking that Naruto is super nice. Zenitsu would run down south, and that's where the older brother demon was. Naruto would head straight up north, up the mountain. Right now, we're going to cut to Tanjiro's POV. Tanjiro is running around the forest and using a super heightened smell to pretty much track where the mother demon was. It would be a lot harder fighting her secret weapon, quote unquote, considering the fact he doesn't have Inosuke with him, which means he can't get out of a pinch. But Tanjiro still figures out how to cut the neck even if there is no neck. Tanjiro would pretty much run as fast as he can and would try to attack the demon directly. She would panic, trying to figure out a way to kill Tanjiro, but she really has nothing. She accepts her fate and puts her hands out towards Tanjiro. Tanjiro noticed that she's accepting death, and he would change his grip using Blessed Rain out of the drought, which would kill the mother demon. Before she dies, she states that one of the 12 Kizuki are here, and he appears the weakest. But don't judge a book by its cover. That's what they say. She'll die. After Tanjiro realizes that what she said means that it's either Naruto or Zenitsu's in trouble. We're going to cut to Inosuke's POV. Inosuke's fighting the dad demon right now, and he's making quick work of him, considering the fact that he's in his first form. He cuts off the demon's hands, and the dad demon panics, running away. Inosuke would run after the dad demon as he crawled up a tree. He would then shed his skin and pretty much get a power boost from it. The dad demon would grab a tree and throw it at Inosuke, but Inosuke dodged it just in time, as he would stay beast-breathing rip and tear, but unlike in the original, his blade actually breaks. Or did it break in the original? Whatever. His blade would break, both of them. Inosuke, realizing how strong the demon is able to grab Inosuke by the head and start squeezing while lifting him up. Inosuke would say sorry to Naruto, Tanjiro, and Zenitsu, and saying their name correctly this time, as he would apologize for being so weak. Just then, all of a sudden the grip loosened. He got back on his feet and stumbled a couple of feet, as he saw a man with black hair and a weird kimono. The man would look at Inosuke with dead eyes. He would ask if Inosuke is okay, as Inosuke would ask who he is. He would then state his name is Gyu Tomioka, the water pillar. As Inosuke would remember water and would ask if he's Tanjiro's older brother or something. Gyu would look back at Inosuke. You know Tanjiro Kamado? As Inosuke would say, yeah, I think he went... I'm sorry, hold on, I can't read for a second. Yeah, I think he went east. Or was it west? As Inosuke was switching the two. Gyu would then just decide to go north. Inosuke would ask if Gyu can train him, but Gyu just declines. Inosuke would then get his blades and tell Gyu that they had to fight right now. Gyu would grab a random rope and just tie Inosuke to a tree, stating that if you want to be a Hashira, you have to get out of it. Besides, it's not like a demon can hurt you. There's only 4 demons on this mountain. As Gyu began to walk up the mountain. We then cut to his Zenitsu's POV. Zenitsu is not shaking with fear. If anything, he's beaming with confidence. He was told that he can do it, and unlike in the original, because of this confidence, he performs even better. Yeah, sure, he got bitten, which startled him a little bit. And even though the older brother demon was explaining, Zenitsu just cut the crap and started to kill him while he was explaining what's happening to Zenitsu's body. The older brother demon would ask if he really wants to know, as Zenitsu states that all it is just a poison, and if he can get a good doctor, it would stop it. Besides, even if I'll die anyway, I still need to kill you. Zenitsu would try and use Thunderclap and Flash threefold, as he can't do 6 yet. Or at least he can't do it mentally yet, like unconscious. As the blood was rushing, he accidentally causes himself to faint, but it wasn't out of fear, mainly because of his own body. The older brother demon thought it was out of fear, but when Zenitsu looked like he was going to hit a tree, he began to sleepwalk again. His entire body moved on its own, and he landed safely. He would then say in a dead tone, thunder breathing, first form, thunderclap and flash 6-fold. He would then kill the older brother demon, landing on the small house. He would then wake up, realizing that he did a job well done. He would look to his left and he would see something weird. Weird. He would see his grandpa, but it would make no sense why he's there, as he must be thinking about him ever since he got that letter. Yeah, it's gonna happen a lot sooner then. Ever since he got that letter. Gramps would then look at Zenitsu. Remember all your training, boy. As Gramps would then run away. Zenitsu would begin to breathe slowly in order to slow down his heart rate so the poison does not travel as fast. Then some weird butterfly girl shows up asking if he's okay. Zenitsu would then look around, seeing a lot of medical demon slayers. And Zenitsu would ask who she is. She would say that I am the insect Hashira. Zenitsu would smile slightly. At least I know they're gonna be safe. Now we're gonna cut to Naruto's POV. Naruto running directly towards Rui wouldn't even give time for Rui to explain himself, as what Naruto walked into was Rui brutally beating another demon. Blood was practically everywhere. Naruto would draw his sword and began to attack Rui. But then Naruto would have a cramp because his arm wasn't fully healed yet. Neither was his stomach. Rui would kick Naruto away, asking why Naruto was getting in on his business. Naruto would stand up. Aren't you guys all family or something? Why are you hurting her? As Rui would then state, she isn't doing her role right. She's supposed to be my older sister, yet she hasn't protected me at all. I've been protecting. As Naruto would look at the kid's eye. As Naruto would stand up. Isn't that kind of unfair? I mean, you are part of the 12 Kizuki, aren't you? As Rui would look at Naruto. As Rui would then repeat, getting louder and louder. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. As Naruto would stand up. You know, I hate bastards who don't appreciate their family. As Naruto would then prepare for his new attack that he's been training for the past couple of weeks. It's new, but hopefully it gets the job done. As Naruto would perform a new breathing style. Inferno Storm Breathing. Form 1. Inferno Tornado. As Naruto would visualize flames surrounding himself into a giant hurricane/tornado. Naruto would then leap forward as he remembered Rengoku's training. Rengoku would pretty much explain the flame style. The flame style has always been direct, heavy slashes. No matter what, as long as you are direct with it, the slash doesn't matter. As Naruto would then state, if I mixed the first form of flame breathing and the first form of my own breathing, this should do the trick. As Naruto go for a heavy downward slash, Rui would just simply use his blood demon art, as he would notice that Naruto was using his. The web would then turn a blood red as Naruto's sword would snap. Naruto would think to himself that it snapped just like a twig. Rui would then gut punch Naruto, sending him flying to a nearby rock. As Naruto would state that his blood demon art isn't working. As he would remember what his mom said, that his blood demon art will always evolve. Naruto would get back up and tell himself that he has to win, because if he doesn't, he won't be able to save any of his friends if they're in trouble. Naruto would stand up and remember something Rengoku once said. If you're ever in trouble, just set your heart ablaze. And that's exactly what Naruto did. He controlled his breathing and leaped forward. As every single step took to get closer, it was another life he remembered that he had to save. Another one that he had to let go, as they were already dead, and just mourning them will get in the way. As he would then close his eyes, thanking his mother and father for giving him a strong body, his father for training him in the art of thunder, his mom for training him in the art of wind, Rengoku and Giyu training him in the art of flame and water. As Naruto truly believed that this is probably when he was going to die, and he might as well just say his thanks before. As Rui would then use his blood demon art to try and cut Tanjiro into cubes, Nezuko would actually jump in the way of Naruto. She would take the hit. She wouldn't die though. It was more like deep cuts than anything, as her body was more durable than Naruto's, considering the fact that he was full demon instead of half. Naruto would automatically stop. Seeing Nezuko, she was practically a sister to him. She would fall down, and pretty much Naruto would have to catch her. As Rui would ask if that's Naruto's sister, Naruto would look up with rage in his eyes. It's not, but she's definitely like one. As Naruto would ask Nezuko where Tanjiro is. Tanjiro would run in and automatically attack Rui for doing that to his sister. He would yell water surface slash as Rui would jump back. As Tanjiro would look at Nezuko, he would realize all the blood that's just oozing out of her. The blood was practically going, to Naruto and Tanjiro's eyes, the blood was practically covering the mountain, which both lit a fire under them. Naruto was now thinking that Nezuko was dying, or dead, as he couldn't hear her heartbeat anymore. But that wasn't because it stopped. It's because Naruto filtered out everything except for Nezuko and Tanjiro. Even sound. Naruto, thinking that he couldn't save his mother and father, and now his technical sister, it really enraged him. Tanjiro the same. He couldn't save his family, and the one person he chose to protect is now, to his eyes, dead. Naruto and Tanjiro would think back, way back, to their respective lives. Naruto and Tanjiro would then walk up to Rui. Naruto would have a bubbly aura with one giant tail, but the tail looked more like a hand with claws. Tanjiro would then use a breathing technique, not seen by anyone. Tanjiro would then yell Hinokami Kagura, as Naruto would yell Blood Demon Art One-Tailed Fox. Naruto and Tanjiro would attack Rui in unison. As when Rui would jump, Naruto would just simply grab him and throw him back on the ground. And when Rui was trying to attack Tanjiro, Naruto would grab Rui and pull him back a little. So Rui's hit wouldn't land, but Tanjiro's swing would. It was basically a one-sided brawl on Naruto's part. As Rui would get the beating of a lifetime, Naruto would practically make sure Rui stayed alive and suffer as long as possible. By near the end of it, all of Rui's bones in his body, except for his spine and his head, were practically broken, and the only thing keeping him up was Naruto. Tanjiro would then say Hinokami Kagura, clear blue sky, and send Rui flying up into the air. While using Hinokami Kagura, sending him back down to the ground, pretty much Rui is cut in half, which wouldn't kill him. His upper body practically was positioned correctly for Naruto, as he would then say storm style, piercing wind, killing Rui, decapitating him. Naruto and Tanjiro would look at the dead Rui, as unlike in the original, Rui definitely couldn't have cut his head off before. Naruto would then hear a heartbeat, so would Tanjiro, as they would run towards Nezuko, as she was healing herself. Surprisingly, Nezuko survived. Sadly though, she didn't activate her blood demon art. Well, not yet. Naruto's entire body was aching, as because of his blood demon art, which wouldn't mix well with his human body, all of his muscles would contort and stuff. Considering the fact that his blood demon art requires his blood to pump faster, his muscles to, be used more than the average. Basically, it's like Kaioken, if y'all want to know. Tanjiro would practically be out of breath and fainting in and out of consciousness. But Naruto would tell Tanjiro that it's not over, as he senses a lightweight person going straight for Nezuko. As Tanjiro would draw his sword, someone else would already be in front of him. The man would kick the girl out of the way, as he would tell Kocho to back off from his nephew. Kocho would get up and tell Gyu that this is why nobody likes him. As Gyu says that he is liked, she would just begin laughing. As Naruto would yell, "You know, he was friends with my father, you know." As Kocho would smile, "Wow, you really did pick up your mom's catchphrases, didn't you?" As he would ask what she means while saying "you know" after, he would then begin to blush and cover his mouth. Damn it, I really am getting her catchphrases. As Gyu would tell Naruto to start running down the mountain, and that he already has all of his friends at the Demon Slayer headquarters. As Gyu would then tell Kocho that he's not going to let her hurt his best friend's son, his nephew. As Kocho would then state, "Yeah, but they're protecting a full-blooded demon." As Naruto would then state, "There's no way she's evil though. She just protected me. That's the way I was able to survive." As Kocho would then look at Naruto and ask a question. "As a demon, are you able to heal yourself?" As Naruto would nod yes, as she would then cock back her head. Obviously the delusion of a boy who's scared. As Gyu would then look at Kocho, but more of a death stare. He was pretty much radiating an energy of, "If you keep coming at me, I'm gonna kill you." He would then tell Kocho that she has one more chance to back off or he will not hesitate and kill her. She would slightly back off, but then just tell one of her students to go after them. As Naruto would grab Tanjiro and Nezuko and run. He would run as fast as he possibly can as another girl was ganging on him. Naruto would look back and this girl just looked like the other one but a lot smaller and had a skirt. Naruto would activate his zero-tailed state as he was just trying to get away, but obviously this hurt like hell as he would scream. But the girl still kept on gaining on him, so Naruto used his one-tailed state to push her back. Naruto began to cough blood, but he would remember what Goku said, "Set your heart ablaze." So Naruto kept on running. He pretty much ran until the birds stopped him and told the little girl that they had to take Naruto, Nezuko, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu to the headquarters. Which, by the way, Zenitsu and Inosuke are already on their way to the headquarters. He would then describe Naruto and Tanjiro and Nezuko, and Inosuke and Zenitsu. Gyu and Kocho would stop fighting. As Gyu would then run towards Naruto. As they're walking to the wagon that's gonna take them on the headquarters, Gyu would ask exactly what happened. As Naruto, with his entire body aching and in Gyu's arms, like Gyu's holding him bridal style, but like it's not like that, you know. Basically, Naruto would explain that they were on this mission, but things just went down south. At first, they had everything under control, but for some reason, his anger got the best of him. As Gyu would say it's not his fault, and that surprisingly, everybody came out of this with barely any scratches, and the only one that seemed to have any damage is Yu and Tanjiro. As Naruto would ask, "What about Nezuko?" Gyu would say, "She has a couple tears on her body, but her skin seems to be okay." As Naruto would ask what time it is, Gyu says it's almost sunrise, so they have to get Nezuko into the box now. They do that exactly before sunrise, before Nezuko can even hit sunlight. Tanjiro wakes up and starts panicking when Gyu tells her that she's in the box. Tanjiro would then sit back down as Naruto would tell Tanjiro, "I think it's time to rest." As Naruto would pretty much brag, "As team captain, I order you to take a rest." As Tanjiro would ask Naruto who made him captain, Naruto would say himself. Tanjiro would just smile and go to sleep, as he would then whisper, "Aye, aye, captain." Gyu would then smack Naruto, and Naruto would ask what that's for, as Gyu would then state, "Well, as your superior and your uncle, I order you to sleep. It's time." As Naruto would state that he's kind of scared to sleep now, and that he's not really that tired. As Gyu would say, "Well, you will be, so sleep now." As Naruto would try his best, all he can do is think of what happened that entire night, and especially what happened to Nezuko. but he did eventually fall asleep when he calmed himself down. Naruto would wake up to a not so friendly sight. When he woke up, his arms were tied. Naruto would realize that he's tied to a tree. Naruto would ask what's going on, as his legs were tied as well. And his neck was also tied, but it wasn't like too, like it wasn't choking him or anything. It was more of a, to keep him restrained. So he wasn't really hanging from there. Well, he was, but like, you know what I meant. Basically, Naruto would see the sight ahead of him. A couple of people with unique designs. A girl with pink hair, a guy in a tree with snakes, a guy staring at the clouds, a guy with two giant swords. Naruto looked at all these characters, but the one that stuck out the most was Tanjiro, knocked out, and Zenitsu in the shade. But she wasn't out of her box. Naruto would look slightly to the left as he sees Gyu and Rengoku pissed off, running towards Naruto, trying to help him. As Gyu would yell, "Don't worry, nephew, we'll get you out of this, I promised, I won't let them hurt you." As Gyu would tell the rock pillar to let him go right now. As then they'll see the Wind Hashira walking up. So this is Minato's son. What a disgrace. As he would unsheath his sword and slash at Naruto's gut. Naruto would scream in immense pain, and this just pissed off Rengoku and Gyu more. Rengoku got past the rock Hashira, but not by brute strength, but more like a juke. But Gyu was still getting held back because of his body compared. Rengoku would grab a wooden sword and use unknowing flame on the Wind Hashira, sending him flying back. As Naruto's body began to revert, as Naruto's intestines began to revert back into his body around the same shape, and his body began to heal. Rengoku would cut Naruto off the tree and try to unloosen all of his the rope that's tied to him. The Wind Hashira would rush at Rengoku, and this is when they'll have a fight. Kocho would then yell at both of them, saying that they're being childish, as Rengoku would stare at Kocho in a more deadly stare, but the Love Hashira would just simply argue that they should all just calm down and wait for the headmaster, which he appears right on time. As the headmaster would tell Rengoku, Gyu, and I forget the Rock Hashira's name, and honestly, I'm just not gonna tell you until he appears in the anime. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to refer to them by their, element if I don't really know their name. He pretty much tells everybody to sit down, calm down, and all that. Rengoku and Gyu are extremely pissed. And Tanjiro is pissed as well, as not only are they having Nezuko as a hostage, but they just hurt his best friend. As Tanjiro would ask where Zenitsu and Inosuke are. The guy of the headquarters will speak softly. They're at the butterfly estate, getting properly healed. Now, about your predicament. Tanjiro Kamado, you've been traveling with a demon. Explain. As Naruto would yell, "Listen, she's not like the others. She's like my mom. She has a will of her own. She literally protected me. I'm telling you." As the Wind Hashira would yell, these are obviously words from a fool. There is no way a demon could be like that. As Naruto would look at the Wind Hashira, then explain how I'm here. As the Wind Hashira would just sigh and look to the left. Look away from Naruto, basically. As the Love Hashira would then state, that is a good point. Minato and Kushina were a great power couple, and Kushina was 100% demon. As Naruto would then state, even my blood demon art is hers. So I want you to explain, how am I here if that isn't the case? As the Wind Hashira would just look away from Naruto even more. As Naruto would yell at him to explain. Then he would then state, Kushina was different from all of them. As Naruto would then state, yeah, and so is Nezuko. As the Wind Hashira would look down and remember Kushina. Remember how sweet she was to him, unlike the rest. Even Minato had a slight annoyance of him, but because of Kushina, his attitude towards him even changed. While remembering this, he would then ask the headmaster if Nezuko can be a demon that hunts demons. Sorry, if Nezuko can be a demon and a demon slayer. As Tanjiro and Naruto would look in amazement, and pretty much everybody else, as she would then ask the headmaster if Nezuko can join their ranks, and doesn't really mind if Nezuko hunts demons with Tanjiro. As the headmaster would ask why such a change in tone and basically his own opinion, he would then state, "The boy's right. Kushina was different, and maybe she's different as well, but we don't really have a way to prove it, do we?" As he would then state, "Wait, we do." As the Wind Hashira would ask Tanjiro if he can open Nezuko's box. Tanjiro would nod in agreement. As he would open Nezuko's box, she would get up. He would then cut his own wrist to show blood, but she paid no mind. She would even walk past him, looking at Naruto and Tanjiro, waving hello, as she knows she cannot go into the sun, so she tries to stay as far away from as possible. The Wind Hashira sighs. Well, now we know. As he would then order the girl to go back into the box, which she does, and she even closes it herself. He would then go out into the sun. Alright, we know the answer. Now, let's just take him to the player fighter state already. As the headquarters master, who I keep forgetting the goddamn name of, with this then not in agreement. Alright. Court adjourned. As she would walk back. As the love Hashira would then tell the headquarters master to get well. As she would then sigh, "Yeah, all my children, rest." As she would then walk back. Naruto would be escorted to the butterfly estate and get settled in. And when he sees what's happened to his former comrades, he kind of has a sigh of relief, as Zenitsu would go up to Naruto and hug him. But we'll more like wave Naruto towards him to hug him, because he can't really walk. He would then thank Naruto for everything he said, as because of him, he's now alive. Naruto would pretty much say, "No, it's all you. You are the reason why you're alive. Don't pin your success on me." As Inosuke would then tell Naruto, "I'm sorry for being so weak. I promise I'll get stronger. And I'll even surpass all the Hashira." As Inosuke was pumped up instead of being depressed. Naruto would lay in the bed. As he remembered, he can finally see his Uncle Giyu and Rengoku, as he would then run out. But before actually getting out the door, Giyu and Rengoku were already there, as Giyu would order Naruto to go back into the bed. Naruto would get settled, as Giyu and Rengoku would ask how Naruto's been, and how he's been settled with Rokudaki. Naruto would state that with those 2 years of being with Tanjiro and Nezuko and Rokudaki, they're almost like family now. As Giyu would nod, "Well, at least you're settled." As Rengoku would then state, "I've been hearing some rumors that you activate your blood demon art. I would like to know how it works, please." As Naruto would state, "All I know is the names. I don't really know how it works it myself. But for some reason, every single time I use it, my muscles ache with extreme pain." As Rengoku would then state, "Well, that's a shame. Anyway," as he would stand up, "I must be off." As Naruto would ask what's going on, Rengoku states, "I have to investigate this thing about a Mugen train. It shouldn't be that hard. Besides, I have a bunch of missions on my way there anyway. It should take me only about a week to actually get to the train itself, though. I'll write you a letter back." As Naruto would say, "Oh, if it's a week, then maybe I could go with you." As Rengoku would then state, "Well, I'm not going to be off exactly. I mean, I have around a month before I actually need to get there. Maybe I can train you." As Naruto then tells Rengoku that he needs to go save lives. As Rengoku would be off. Now, I am only making a week instead of like maybe a couple months like in the anime. Is because Naruto and gang didn't actually suffer a lot. Mainly it's Zenitsu, and all I'm gonna do is say he's gonna actually drink the medicine more, and I'm just gonna say it speeds up the process. Also, rehabilitation training doesn't happen as normal, as they don't really need it. And Naruto already knows about total concentration and constant, and actually try and teach Tanjiro and Zenitsu. But he would mainly ask Kocho to train them. So yeah, they pretty much do this all under a week. Well, not really under a week. It's more of a week and a half. And Naruto is pretty much ordered to go to the Mugen train. As Naruto is happy he finally gets to be on a mission with Uncle Rengoku, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke are seen off by Giyu, as he's actually going their separate ways too. Naruto would walk by as he sees that little butterfly girl with the skirt again. He would actually go up to her as he would then state, "Look, I think you're really cute. So maybe after I finish with this mission, I could take you on a date." As she would then just put in a coin and flip it. As Naruto would ask what she's doing, she lands on heads and would explain, "This coin dictates whether I can talk or not." As Naruto would slightly get a bit angered. "Why should you let a coin dictate what you say? I want you to answer me from the bottom of your heart." As she would flip the coin again, but Naruto would just grab it in midair. As Naruto would take the coin. Tanjiro pretty much tells him that they need to be off, as Naruto would state he'll be right there. In fact, keep going, I'll catch up anyway. They ascend the mountain towards the main town, as Naruto would grab the coin. "Look, how about this? Heads, you have to follow your heart. And tails, you have to follow your heart." As she would then state that that's a very dumb thing to do, as either way, she'll have to follow her heart. As Naruto would state, "Well, you let the coin dictate, right?" As he would flip it up and grab it, as she would show heads, as she would put it back onto her palm. "See? Now, could you please answer my question without the coin?" As Naruto would stare her directly in the eyes. She would just say yes. "If you do come back alive, I'll go on a date with you or something." Naruto would begin to walk off while waving her goodbye, and around to the point where she's out of sight, he pretty much celebrates to himself. As he began to catch up with Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke, as Naruto would state, "We need to get our blood pumping for the mission. We're jogging." As Zenitsu would ask if we're jogging the entire way, Naruto would state, "No, we're just gonna jog most of the way." They jog up until night, where they finally catch up to the Mugen train. As Tanjiro would ask how they got here so quickly, Naruto would state, "Missions can take a long time for Rengoku, especially since he wants to be as thorough as possible. That might explain why it takes him a week and a half to get here." As Naruto and Tanjiro realize the train's actually about to leave, Naruto gets onto the train. Pretty much everybody gets on the train. Naruto walks up and sees Rengoku and sits with him. And that is where we're going to end off part 4. This is a long part. Oh my god. 43 minutes. Actually, round it up to 44 and probably 45 for this outro. I'm just going to say this now. Part 5 might be the end of the series so far. Until season 2 is out completely, I do not want to cover anything on season 2. I didn't even read that far ahead yet, so I couldn't, legitly couldn't if I wanted to. So, yeah, just, I hope y'all enjoy. Part 5 is going to come out whenever. I might do it if Naruto's Madara Part 2 after, unless I want to retcon it again. Oh no. Sometimes I do that on accident. I accidentally retcon. It's mainly the way I write, so, yeah. Thank you again for 200 subscribers. Honestly, I cannot stress that enough. How much I am just flabbergasted. That number. Like, I never in my life thought I would get to 200. I remember like there was a point where I almost wanted to quit because like I saw no point in it. But no, you guys proved me wrong. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. I even heard that some people like the longer videos, but I don't know. If you made it this far, comment flame, just flame. Comment flame, and I'll heart the comment and give you a shout out next video. Because it really tells me if you're watching these or not. So yeah, and it's like 9 something. So I'm just gonna say good night, y'all.